everyone, it's Sarah, Painty Creator, and I just thought we might just have a little bit of fun today with our paints. So I've got my Cotman watercolour set, I've got some clean water, I've got a few brushes, my mop brushes from Meaden, and some small round brushes, pencil, some kitchen paper, and a bit of imagination, which is always good. So I thought we might have a little play. So to start off with, I'm going to just grab a little bit of a, so that's like the top of my arc. I'm just going to extend it a little bit. It looks a bit like a hill, doesn't it? And then I'm going to draw some bunny ears on. Quite stylised, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe that one's a bit thicker than that one, so I'll just rub that out. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm a self-taught painter who picked up painting in long COVID times, 5 years ago, and as I have ME, I was having to shield. So hubby very kindly brought me back some paints from one of the discount stores because I think I was driving him bonkers. And I was shielding because I have ME. I've probably had ME all my life, all my adult life, since I got glandular fever when I was 17. And so I have to rest a lot, and I think watercolour really helps that resting. And I just love it. I think it's really good fun. So I've just used some cadmium yellow. I'm just dropping in a little bit of alizarin crimson into these quite stylised little flowers. And basically I'm going to create all sorts of quite stylised flowers using my mop brush. This is one of the purples. I might do another one over here, and Daxon purple. There's lots of different shapes. Plain brush, just load that up a bit more, get a bit more pigment in there. I'm going to pop a little bit of alizarin crimson into this one. Maybe it's a pansy sort of flower. It's that sort of shape, isn't it? So, into my Purple Lake, one of my favourite colours, is really translucent. So I'm just going to do an underwash of this one. Just Purple Lake and plenty of water. That reminds me a bit of lavender, when lavender comes out. Another one here, little one. Just let my brush dance across, having fun. I think we need a little bit of yellow on here. I'm just picking up some cadmium yellow. And some buttercups or little somethings. And all you're doing is letting the brush dance across. And then I'm going to go in with some ultramarine into the middle of those. And just to darken the middles. It'll make a natural green. Nice. So a little bit of my permanent rose pink into these whilst they're drying. Pick up a bit more paint on there to get the colour. So some quite stylised tulips. I love tulips. So a mixture of phthalo blue and permanent rose. And it makes a sort of a lavendery colour. A different purple to this one. Doobie-doo. So I'm going to add a little bit of ultramarine into that mix, just to blue it down a little bit more. few different colours in. I think we need one here. Might just have some orange. I've got a cadmium orange on my palette. Getting some of that on my brush. Let's do some orange. It's quite bright and colourful. I might just add a red, cadmium red, into there. So I'm just like, these aren't real flowers, obviously, they are flower shapes. Okay, so I've done the first lot. I'm going to just let that dry, or make it dry if you want, grabbing a hairdryer. This is the point where I like to rest for 5 minutes, and then I'll finish it off with a hairdryer. Okay, so here we are, we're fairly dry. So using my mop brush and a little bit of raw umber, quite watered down, I'm going to paint on the bunny ears. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a gap. Just going to paint into the flowers. I've got other vegetation to add, but I'm just painting into the top of these flowers. I'm just going to grab a little bit of permanent rose or any pink, and just drop that in while it's wet. A little bit more on my brush. And then a damp brush, I'm just softening down those edges with a damp brush. I've got a little bit of Payne's Grey, or you could just use a neutral tint just to darken some of the edges. If you can get them in while it's wet, it's much easier. So wash your brush, take some of the water out, and then you can just smooth it away into that damp wash. Nice way of just adding an edge without drawing it. So I'm going to just run a damp brush up, just to pick a bit of a highlight up. There we go. Maybe a little bit of a highlight here as well. So another time to let it dry or make it dry. So we've got our bases. So now it's a time to just play with mixing your greens. So you could try a cerulean blue and a lemon yellow or a Hansa yellow, which will make a bright green. I've just mixed that one just to show you. So I'm going to just draw some stems on these, and then I can just add in you can load the wash, remember, but we can add in just playing with the brush, pressure on the brush, making the shapes. So light pressure, press down, release, drag down. Do that again. Light pressure, push down, release, drag down. So light pressure, push down, release. Just going to make that a small one here. So just building up the leaves around your flowers. So this green was cerulean blue with a Hansa yellow light, so it's a cool green. It's quite a vibrant green. I'm just going to add a tiniest touch of phthalo blue into it, and it makes a different green. So I've used the same base, but the blue green really shows through. So let's do a ultramarine blue and a cadmium yellow. So it won't be as transparent as that bright green, as you're using less transparent colours. Cadmium yellow and ultramarine, and it'll make like an olivey green colour. So it's got quite a lot of water in. Just going to put a bit more pigment into that. Make it more olivey green. I like the olive green. And I'm not a botanicals painter, but I do enjoy doing these sort of creative things, filling the spaces, enjoy exploring different greens and different techniques. And it's a really good way of getting to know what paints do what. And getting the feel of your pressure of your brush and the shapes your brush can make, some little leaves. Lots on. So I'm now going to just add a little bit of purple into that mix. It'll just darken it. Make like a dark greeny grey colour. And basically you just keep adding layers of leaves, doing whatever you want. And if you're struggling with the mop brush, just pick up a smaller brush. There's a round 0. Just keep layering it up. If you're bored, you can always fast forward, but I appreciate that many people enjoy the slow pace of this space, because it's the life that we live. As my grandson would always remind me to say to you, please like and subscribe, and comment, because the comments I love. yellow ochre and raw umber. Still using my little brush. I'm just going to put some little centres in these larger flowers. Do one there. Just blobs basically, aren't they? Come on. Blobs on top. Just help. I'm just going to darken that mix a little bit to just put some centres on these. So that's just a little bit of neutral tint. If you haven't got any neutral tint, you can just mix up a little bit of raw umber and black, and it'll do a similar job. So I'm still on that dark. Just getting some sort of lost and found stems for some of these in. And it's one of those that you can work at for ages, or you can do very little and it'll still look nice, and I like those. I'm quite enjoying it, so I'm just going to carry on building, mixing different greens. Remember, we're getting darker. As we go. If you wanted, you can go back onto some of your leaf shapes. And just put a wash on top to vary them a little bit. And a second layer of the same colour tends to make something a little bit darker. And just pick up whatever's on your palette and just play. It's fine. You're not going to damage anything. So there I decided that I needed these a little bit darker to stand out. So I'm just doing another darker layer on top. So back into these darks, taking a little bit off. A little bit off on my paper towel. Just going to soften those with clean water into the bottom washes. I don't get to spend that long in the garden, really. It's either too hot in summer or in spring it's not really hot enough. Now I think that's a little bit dark, so I'm just going to put a paper towel on it and blot it up. That's nice. Maybe a little twiggy bit coming down here. It's quite a mindful activity, is this one. Again, I'm just going to get my paper towel, put it on, blot it, don't go back. Just going to get a little bit more of that red around these. I just put the colour on, wash my brush, and it just helps accentuate them a little bit. So I wash my brush, take some of the excess water off, and just push it into the wash. Quite like that one. I'm just going to add a little bit of purple and alizarin crimson mix into these, just to accentuate some of these petals. Where needed. So I am now just picking up a random green off my palette that I've mixed, and I'm just going to pop in some little stems and leaves, something and nothing, just to connect some of these. And then you can choose to get a fine liner, go over it, or you can leave it. It's up to you. I'm just going to grab my hairdryer and give this one. So I'm going to grab my fine liner and just do a little bit of outlining. I think I'm going to leave the bunny ears as is. And I'm certainly not going to outline all of it. But I do like a little bit of outline. So I'm going to press pause. I'm going to take my time doing this and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with you. I'm nearly at the end. I just thought I would show you some of the sort of techniques that I'm using. So just sort of imagine that we're not outlining, we're just enhancing. So with these, I've been doing a big petal at the bottom, enhancing that black a little bit. They're a bit like a pansy or an iris or something like that. Nice sort of random marks. So I try my best not to outline, keeping things settled and fluid. These I just do a little bit of a jiggle. So here we've got a bit of a bent over leaf of some description. Just a jiggle. And a little leaf there up one here. And I think that's about it. I'm not going to outline the ears because I want the contrast. Oh, I've missed one here and another little red flower. Just let your pen skip a little bit. And then I've got a little white gel pen. So I'm just going to drop some highlights on some of these darker areas. And maybe on some highlights on some of these. I think that's less is more on that one, and I'm happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed that one and that you'll give it a go and see what comes off your plate. I quite like this bunny hiding away. Maybe you'll be able to do your own. Have fun. Like and subscribe and comment, and if you want to buy any of my paintings, have a trip to my Folksy shop, and that will hopefully provide you some inspiration as well. See you soon.